All right, big Tuesday, local swell checkers, take a look. This big spinner right here is nearly on top of us. Thus, the strong northwesterly winds, the disruption of trades, the lousy weather, the front moving down the island chain, and of course the big waves from this long fetch right here. It's 10 to 15 feet here. It's about 3 o'clock on Big Tuesday, and I wanted to get you updated. Please excuse the sound quality. I didn't bring my mic with me up here on the North Shore, but wanted to get this out to you since it's been a while. Thanks for your patience. So this is the guy right here. Clicking the animations, you can see there's another reinforcing fetch. It's going to stay 12 to 15, maybe 18 feet through Thursday. Easy advisory warning levels rather. And then we start right here on Saturday the 14th, middle of the February already. We see something real close by, a north-northwest swell, and this one could bump us up on Monday the 16th to about 10 feet or so. Not all models concur on this one. Take a look at that guy. It's pretty decent, and then it gets out of here by Monday, but not before pushing out some swell. Then we get some more west swell coming in the long haul. Take a look at that guy. It's much smaller event here from the west-northwest starting on the 19th, which is Thursday. 6 feet 14 seconds will be the peak on this, and the surf, that's enough swell to bring up to solid 8 feet. Again, if you want to mark your calendars, Thursday the 19th, and it'll be lasting a super long time because of the track of this guy. And this one was a decent track too, staying put for a long time. This current big swell just needs better winds. Of course, the windward side is doing well at select spots, but the typical spots are no good. It's just about as bad as it gets out on the North Shore. A little hindcasting. Here it comes right here last Friday, moving our way in a super west band. Take a look how west that is. That is at a partial shadow window there of 280 to 310, this particular storm, in the first phase of it here before it crosses the date line, and it ends up this huge spinner here in the central pack into the east pack. And so again, it's kind of a 1-2 punch here. By this time, when the fetch broadens, we'll see the swell be 310 to 330, and that'll get out of the shadow window, which is up to 294 degrees to get out from behind Niihau and Kauai. And this is where we are for Monday. And starting it in again, take a look at how long that fetch lasts. Wanted to show you that we're actually out of the doldrums for the South Shore, even though the conditions are lame, just like most shores. The only thing that's working condition-wise are select windward reefs, but just wanted to take you back a little. Hindcasting Tuesday the 3rd, we had a fetch in the Tasman Sea. Now, models are not predicting this to reach us, but this guy does get out to the east of New Zealand right about there, and we actually get a decent fetch. Take a look at that guy. And this is Friday the 6th, and we are expecting surf to be building. 1.5 foot swells, 14 seconds. From about 200 degrees. This thing will be getting up to 2 feet 14 seconds by Saturday. This is enough for 3 foot sets, again, late Friday into Saturday, the 12th, 13th. And it'll be lasting actually into Sunday as well for some fun. And this is the culprit right there. So tower will be breaking as well. Now it looks like we'll get another fetch, but this is just going to be supporting a long-lasting background swell. Up again, a peak of 3 feet for the top refracting reefs along the southern shores. As we continue on, we can see the fetches all start to go back to zonal or flowing west to east, and we like them to go towards the equator or have a meridional flow. We don't see that. Let me show you. Okay, current models, we see these little lows here tracking, out of our swell window. Nothing going on here at all after the swell of the 13th through the 15th. We can see stuff that's trying to come up off the Ross ice shelf, but no, we're going quiet. So if you got to get wet, you got to get waves, you don't have time to head to the country, then you'll want to get this south swell that'll be filling in with forerunners late Thursday, with swell building all day Friday the 13th, and lasting Saturday and Sunday the 14th and 15th, and hopefully with a 3-foot peak. Okay, now let's take a look at the large-scale jet stream winds, about 30,000 feet up. It's low and elongated and consolidated in the North Pack. It's zonal down here. This jet stream actually helps the formation of storms and steers them once they form. And that's why we've been getting these west swells, and why we've been getting the storms so near to the island. This jet stream's nearly down on top of us. And we're about 20 degrees north above the equator. And so that jet stream's really dipping low right now. Let's start the animations. You can see what it does. Still points down to us, stays fairly consolidated for a regular stream of waves. Looks like the winds pick up to about 200 knots here in 5 or 6 days. So more and more swell is projected. In fact, we are expecting a long range, a wampum swell around the 25th. And of course, that's a claim that will likely have to be adjusted anytime you go out past 7 days. It's pretty speculative. And down under, again, as we see, it's really just the exception if we see anything moving up our way. Okay, now from the 30,000 feet up right down to the surface, the hand-drawn surface charts are showing that big spinner here. It's associated low pressure. It's an associated front over Maui, bringing the weather to Maui and the Big Island especially. There's going to be this weak surface high pressure moving in. It's not going to have much time to bring us anything. We are actually looking at that high to bring us some variable winds and maybe some sea breeze pattern on Thursday into Friday. And yes, we will have plenty sizable waves, and we will be into a hazy sea breezy pattern with big waves Thursday and Friday with some southerly flow. We'll just have to wait and see. Again, that high pressure will be weakening and out of here as another big broad low moves into the picture and brings us in another front on Saturday. This is the guy over here that'll be making its way. You see these two tails on these two low pressures back to back. It seems like we're getting these fronts once or twice a week minimum, and it seems like it's been a long time since we have a decent spell of trade winds. 'Tis winter. Now we jump up to the water vapor loop showing features 20,000 feet up. The brown regions are showing the dry, stable, sinking air masses. That big low pressure spinning up here, bringing us in our waves. You can see the fetch actually in the upper regions moving down for that long fetch of winds all the way down to the surface. And it's the surface winds that we like because that grips the ocean and builds the surf. But all in all, we're going to be relatively dry after that front gets out of here. You can kind of see the remnants of it breaking up already. We're looking at some nice weather Wednesday and Thursday and Friday, and then that next front changes that scenario. There's a prettier picture of the low pressure and the front. Highs are going to be about 79, lows about mid-60s. Drilling down, you can see where most of the frontal cloud bands are now. They've left Kauai and Oahu for the most part. It was cloudy this morning and it's beautiful now, as that's moving at about 25 knots or about the same pace as those northwesterly winds. Quick look at the water loops. You can see a lot of rain here off to the southeast portion of the Big Island now as it's moving away from us. Maui's seen the worst of it. And again, we're looking pretty good here. These are just the instruments that you're seeing here. This isn't actual rain. Those are anomalies that are picked up just by the devices on these reflective loops. And we'll end up here with a nice view of that big low pressure spinning right now down on top of us, leading to, again, up to 20-foot surf this afternoon into tonight. And 12 to 18 is what we're projecting, all thanks to this guy here. There's going to be more coming, but we will be going into a below average spell of surf after this above average spell now. And that's your local swell tracker. I'll have another update for you next week. Aloha.